go beyond what I've already stated publicly in my NewsNation interview. As I've stated publicly already in my NewsNation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries.
We had some testimony out of Capitol Hill in that hearing on UFOs. Pentagon whistleblowers sharing claims of alien technology defying the laws of physics.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
Do you believe UAPs pose a potential threat to our national security?
Yes, and here's why. The technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Steve Krakauer, author of Uncovered, How the Media Got Cozy with Power, Abandoned Its Principles, and Lost the People, here right now live. You know, Steve, as a journalist, I have to tell you, it has been bizarre to cover this story. First off, it feels like an out-of-body experience. It feels like we're all living in a movie. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of all the movies I watched as a child and seeing it play out in real time. And this story probably wouldn't have even made air if you were to think about it maybe a decade ago. If it did, it would have been laughable to some people. How do you think the media has covered the story as it's played out in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, I think that's such an important point because, frankly, the way that this story has been, stereotyped and essentially made to feel like icky has been a decades-long experience, and I think it's really important as you see people like David Grush testify there and as NewsNation viewers have seen him speak extensively. He didn't use words like aliens or outer space because, frankly, we don't even really know if that's where this is coming from, and that's not the point. The point is that it's something, as he describes, as non-human intelligence, and it's a danger to our national security. It's a danger to training missions that are being done, and this is a very real phenomenon. Now, that does not mean that it's alien. It just means that we don't know what it is. And I think that's what's been really interesting over these last, frankly, 5 years, but even more so this year in particular. The New York Times and Politico put that a lot of these videos that you're seeing were from these reporting that they did on the UAP program that we're starting to learn more about. That began this process. But NewsNation interview with David Grush and others, and I would also put in there the UAP kind of shoot downs that we saw earlier this year from the administration, starting to get down this road of really taking this issue seriously. And I think it's hugely important. I think it's really good that certain media organizations, not very many still, are taking this seriously because it is important, and we shouldn't feel like the stigma is going to stop us from treating it as a serious journalistic story.
Well, and I'm seeing some headlines. If you just Google UFO hearings, some of the first articles that pop up is UFO stigma, UFOs, no laughing matter anymore. I mean, and again, a lot of times the reference is to UAPs, those unidentified aerial phenomena. It could be technology from, say, China. That's the question posed to some of these pilots. Do you think the hearing made sense to the American public?
I think that it's beginning to, and I will say, I always it's not a poll in the way that it's officially done, but I always am very interested to see who I hear from that are not in the media world. That when I get my text messages, most of my friends, most of my family are not in the media world, and I got a ton of text messages after this hearing. And I think that people are starting to take it a little bit more seriously. David Grush spoke extensively in front of that committee. He said similar things to what he said in the NewsNation interview, but if you hadn't seen that, he's now saying it, and he's now saying it under oath, which is significant. So he's saying the exact same things, and he's doing so very compellingly, as were the other witnesses. So I do think that this is beginning to go down that path. And again, I think it's so important to understand that this is, they're treating this as a mystery and not a conclusion. You're asking questions, they're being curious, and so are members of both parties, as we're seeing now. It's a very rare bipartisan situation right now happening, that certain members of Congress are taking this seriously, certain members of the Senate, Marco Rubio, Kristen Gillibrand, again, bipartisan. So it's important, and I'm glad we're doing that and taking it seriously. But I will also just note, there is not a lot of coverage like this happening after this hearing, and I think that is a mistake, because I think there's interest from the public, an interest that is not just about, oh, aliens, but about what is this? We need to understand it because it's important.
Transparency. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.